Good morning, everyone. This is Terry from Allen Art and Design. Hope everybody's having a nice morning. I got my French vanilla coffee in my pretty cup. I put this in the microwave the other day and my husband's like, "What are you doing?" I could hear crackling in the microwave. He goes, "You have a gold rim on your cup. You can't put it in the microwave." I had no idea. But I know now. All right, so today I'm going to be going over everything that's going to be in my subscriber giveaway. So let's start with, I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to start with this first needle book. I found a little container to put it in. I'm going to wrap it in tissue and everything. It's a cute little box that I got at Dollar Tree. I like to find little containers for things if I can. But this is the small Needlekeep. I put some beads on there. This is just scrap material that I pieced together. These are yo-yos that I stitched on. I put buttons, did a little slow stitching. There's some little flowers with French knots. This is just a little piece of material that had a number on it. I like numbers, so I stitched that on. Some lace, there's some fern stitch there. There's some seed stitch, and this is just a running stitch. And that's the spine where I sewed it in. And on the back, we have more scrap material that I pieced together. There's some lace. I did some more of those flowers with French knots. This is not meant to be perfect. This is rustic. There's some more fern stitch, some more straight stitches. And then this little closure is from a blouse. It's one of those shirts that you pull up the sleeve and then you button it. And I was getting rid of the shirt. Now I wish I had kept the shirt. That was before I was doing slow stitching. I would have used that material. But I did keep these. And it has a little spot for a button. That's actually the original button that came with it. I figured it fits there. Why not use it? And that just closes like that. And there's plenty of room for it to grow, because these things do get fat when you start putting things in. So this is the inside. I still need to wrap these. They're pre-threaded needles. And it's just good to have a couple of those all ready to go in case you have to stitch on a button or something. This is a little pocket, and it was a little too loose, so I stitched down the middle to give you two little pockets. And you can put pins there. You can put pins on here. This is one of those roses from the tablecloth that I cut up. And I love, and I'm using it everywhere. Here's another one of the roses. Good place for needles. This one is, there's batting inside, so this is good for pins. There's just a little piece that I stitched on there. These also have batting inside so that you can stick pins or needles in there. I just stitched these two pages together before I sewed them in. So you've got spots on both sides for needles. It's this thick. There's some batting in there, so it's a perfect place to put your pins. Here's another place. This is good for needles. Then there's another pocket on the back, and the same thing. It was too loose, so I just stitched it in the middle. And this, I used one piece of material for the inside. I thought it went well. It's obvious, it's on there, so I thought it would go good. And I love how the pink roses go with that material. Then I just blanket stitched all around, and I added some beads, which I love. This is a great size. I love this size. This is good to like put in a purse or a stitching bag, project bag. There we go. So I went ahead and I've picked my 4 winners. And I'm going to get in touch with them today. And hopefully they'll get their information back to me so that I can mail these out. As soon as they receive them, I will let everyone know the names of the winners. But I need to get their permission before I do that. So this is going to be sewing supplies that I include with each of these Needlekeeps. And I'll show you what's in here. Okay, and each one is going to have the exact same thing. All right, so I will show you. And I have to show you, I went ahead and ordered these pins online. There was 3 different kinds. And I'm going to include a pack of these pins with the pin cushion that I'm giving away. All right, so I wanted to show you. I ordered these. What this is, it's a little pair of snips. They're great for when you're stitching. You just want to snip some threads. And they have a little cap, so they're safe. And you just tuck those in your, project bag or in a sewing box or a sewing roll. I bought extras because I want one for myself, and I want one for each of my project bags. I only need 2 for today, but the rest are going to be mine. So I got these needles. I ended up going to Walmart because online on Amazon it's very frustrating. If you want to order needles, you have to order like massive quantities of these things, and I didn't want that. I want you to have a large needle for if you decide to make a needle book. You need a large needle to stitch in your thread to hold your needle book together. And then this is a long thin one with a smaller hole. There's 2 of those. This is an embroidery needle, and then there's just a fine stitching needle. That's all you need. These are for upholstery. You're probably never going to use them, but you know what? Stick them in your needle book anyways, because you just never know. My cat is trying to eat my Amazon Prime packaging. He loves plastic. He's crazy. Okay, so there's that one. I had showed this the other day. This is a 3-in-1 needle threader. It's got a wire, a large hook, and a small hook. I have a few of these. Love them. I'm going to get a few more. I want one of these in each of my project bags. Okay, so I decided to just buy a sewing kit. And I'll open it if I can. I don't even know if I can open this. Oh, you can see what it is anyways. There's some threads, little tiny pair of scissors. There's a needle threader. There's a measuring tape and a bunch of threads. Perfect. Looks like there's even baby pins in there too, and a few buttons. So there's that. I also showed that I put some pins in here. I made it almost like a little matchbook. I rolled it over. It's just cardboard. And I put all the points in there, and I taped it on. And I just put a couple of different kinds of pins. Those are nice to put in your needle book. And I showed the thread trimmers. And then I have a little jar of buttons. Everybody needs buttons. And I even put in another container here, this has different colored bulb pins. Those are great for your needle keeps. Here's an example of what you can do with it, with those buttons I gave you. Make your own little decorations for your needle buttons. And then this just closes, and I taped it. These are those little sewing clips, and these come in handy when you're trying to hold your material together while you're stitching. I put them on a piece of cardboard just to make it easier to pack them. Then these are safety pins. I got 3 different sizes there, and a small pair of these are Westcott. These are stainless steel scissors. They don't have a point though. I didn't want to send something in the mail that had a sharp point on it. So these are great though for clipping your threads or cutting small pieces of material. All right, so they each have that. All of a sudden, Louie's coming in here and he wants to lay down next to me while I'm working. I think he likes to hear my voice. Okay, so I'm just gonna put everything in here. And then these go on the bottom, and one of these. So that's the pack that comes with the Needlekeep, and I think that that's pretty good. I mean, that is a lot of things to get you started. Yeah. And I'm not going to show you the other one because it has the exact same things in it, but I do want to make sure I go ahead and I add the snips in there. I finally finished this large Needlekeep. I love this one. It's so rustic, and I love the colors. They're actually autumnal colors, so this would be nice for this time of year, but that doesn't matter. I ended up stitching a new yo-yo on because there was a light one there and I didn't like it, so I think these match up better. I put a little glue under the buttons because they were moving all around, so I just put a little tack of glue under there, and now they're not moving. I put little corner protectors on all 4 corners, and I always turn the corner protectors, I turn them when I put it on the back. I don't want to see that on the inside of my book. I always turn it around. I want to see the nice side of it. So that's just something I do. A lot of people will turn it around the other way, so when you flip it over you see the design on the back, but who cares? Nobody's looking at the back. I like it that you could see it inside. So let's go ahead. I added some beautiful beads. Thought they went really well together. I put some wooden beads because they go with the wooden buttons, and then I just got some beads that go with the colors in the book. So let me show you. I added a beautiful doily, and then the reason I added the doily because it matches the pattern on the pocket. It's the same shape. I thought that was nice. And then we have, this is for you to put, to stick like threads under there, or even like a whole thing of embroidery thread like this. You can just tuck it in there, and there you go. You can put your offcuts of threads. They call them aughts. You can put those in there just while you're working on your project, and then take them out later. And then these are for pins. This is for needles. It's there's felt inside of them, so they're going to be easy to use. You just stick your pin in there, you stick your needle in there. Let me find a needle. Just put a needle right there. There you go. And then this is for pins. You just put the pins in the felted part of it, like that. That's all you do. And there, you can put as many as you want. Just put them in the felt itself. It's just easy to do, and it looks cute too. All right, so there's that. And there's 2 of those. There's 2 of these. And there's 2 of these. I did have to go around and put glue all the way around the edges. And you can see the glue a little bit, but I would rather that you see the glue and not have this unwrap. I made myself this needle book out of the same material as this. And I don't think I'll ever use that material again. I don't actually have any more. I don't even know what it's called. It's very textured. It's very cool. If anybody knows what it's called, let me know. But the reason I put the glue around the edges is because this continues. It keeps fraying. And it's my book, so I don't care, but I don't want to give somebody a book and have it fraying on them all the time. So I just went ahead and I put some glue around the edges. And there's another one. And here's the back page. And then here's the back. There's another spot. Like I said, you can put some thread in there. You can put some embroidery threads in there, whatever you got that you want to put in there. And if you had to, you can always pin it down to keep it in there so it doesn't flop out on you. But I thought that would be good. And then here's the back. We got another pocket. I trimmed it out. Put another doily. This is just a 1 piece of material. I like to use 1 piece of material on the inside. And then I blanket stitched all the way around. And it's not perfect. It's a little wonky, but I love it because it's a handmade book. I think it's really cute. And I think whoever gets this book is really going to enjoy that. And like I said, it comes with the sewing pack. So I got to find a way to wrap that up and make that look cute. Let's see. So that was the 2 needle books. This is, look at this beautiful box I found. Dollar Tree. And I'm going to wrap this in, you know, with tissue and everything. I might put some newspaper in the bottom and then wrap with tissue or even some soft cloth to keep this from getting broken. I have a video on my channel, and there's a playlist that says pin cushion. There's a video on how I made these, and I just love these. I have one that I use. I had to put this one, let me show you. I had to put this one in a bowl because my Louie knocked this down and he broke it right here. I'm very upset. I'm very sad. I love this. So I had to go and get some glue and glue some lace on there. And then I'm going to glue some more lace on top of that so you won't see any of that mess that he made. Right now I'm just wrapping it around there. And I just need to get my hot glue gun out. I haven't used my glue gun in a while. So I'm just putting it right in here because I found this bowl that fits it perfectly. And I'm just going to use it in this bowl, which is fine. It's mine, so it doesn't really matter. But I am upset that he broke it on me. He's laying right next to me right now. And in my basket, he's in my project basket. Had to take all my projects out because I don't want him to get his fur everywhere. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up. I just love how this all like goes together. And oh, there's glitter in there. And I'm going to make it so that it's secure. And then I'm going to put it in another box so that this won't get broken. And that's a beautiful pin cushion. And then these are the pins that I was talking about. I just took some of the two different kinds. These are butterfly ones on the bottom, and these are flowers on the top. And that's more than enough pins to deck your pin cushion out with. And that's all you really need. So that'll go in there too. And then that's another prize. The last thing is this naked journal. This book, I love this book. I gave away. This is my third one I'm giving away. They're made out of hardcover books. And I covered it with this material, this gray material. It's got swirls on it. And then I put some lace on the back, lace on the spine, and then I covered it with trim. And then I made a topper out of burlap and lace. This is a Dollar Tree decal, wall decal, that I glued it onto cardboard. And then I trimmed it out and I inked it, glued it on, and I put some bling on there. And then I made a little book plate just out of cardboard and paper. And then I put some flat back gems on there. I love the look of it. So let's take a look inside. It has a pocket. It's a gusseted pocket. That means a gusseted pocket gives you extra space. And then I always like to put an image on the top that coordinates with the paper. There's some lace on the inside. And then this is scrapbook paper that I loved. And some gold butterflies. They're dimensional, which I like. Little washi tape. Okay, I just noticed that a little bit of that washi tape was coming up. So I'm going to recommend that if you get a book that's made out of paper and something comes up, like washi tape, like just like that, just get some glue and glue it down. It's not a big deal. It's made out of paper. It'll come up. So it's no big deal. Just glue it down. All right. That's no measure of the quality of the work. It's just, that's the nature of paper. So I put a doily there. I love doilies. I use them all the time. More scrapbooking paper. And I just use all different, I love to keep different types of papers, and I love to use all different kinds. This is the way I store my papers for journals. I have all different types of papers. It's just a great way to store paper. It's a good use of space behind the door. You can write on there. You can glue an image on there. You can use this book as a glue book, a poem book, a book to write stories. You can use it as a daily brain dump journal. You could use it as a bullet journal. You can use this, you know, for anything, any kind of writing or gluing you want. You don't have to write in this at all. You can just glue a bunch of pictures in there. If you don't feel like writing, don't write. Glue things in, glue some words in, you know. That's what I love about these books. And I also love that this book lays completely flat. A lot of journals, and you can't even like open them because they're so stiff, but this one lays really flat. So I have children's music book. This is just like from a journal. This is just some writing paper from a tablet. Pages from books. This is a glitter paper. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really pretty. You can glue something on the back of there. You can write on it. I love tracing paper, and I coffee dye it, and it gives it a real crinkly sound. I love it. This is just a receipt page. This is just some scrapbooking paper. This is some of my coffee dyed lined paper. This is the other side of an envelope. Let me show you where the envelope is. Here's this side of the envelope, and this is the flap, and you can use that. I'll show you. You can use it to tuck some paper in there, like that. And then this you can color in. This is some like stationery. And this is like an open pocket. You can glue this and make it a regular pocket, but you can leave it open so that you can put a whole bunch of stuff in there, like this. You can just stick as much as you want in there because it's open on the side. But if you don't want it open, just run a little bit of glue down there and you're good. So this is the inside. I used some waxed thread, which is very strong. So you only need a dot of glue. Tiny, tiny dot. Okay. You also want to make sure that when you close it, I might put that there just so it doesn't stick. You don't want your paper to stick together. So these are just the other sides of those papers, stationery. This is one of those coloring pages. This is the envelope. Like, you can stuff stuff in there. If you wanted to, you could cover that. I'm going to be including a paper pack. We're going to put the paper pack together. You could glue this on. Just glue here, here, and here. And you've got a pocket here and a pocket there. If you want to do it that way. Or you can leave it open. It doesn't really matter. That's up to you. I think I'll leave that like that. And then, like I said, that's the rest of the paper. And this is thin paper, so you might want to glue another piece of paper over it to make it more sturdy. If you don't like the look of this, just cover it with some of the paper I give you. There's that crinkly paper that I love. Yep. And I love how it's all layered like this. I love to see the different layers. And this is nice. If you glue an image here, when you put this over it, you can see the image behind that paper. I love that. I do that intentionally in a lot of my books, and I make sure I put an image behind it. Just looks really cool. Yeah, so see how they're layered like that? And there's the back. Same thing, it's exactly like the front. This one, it's not coming up, which is good. But like I said, if any of the paper comes up, just get some glue and glue it down. It's not a big deal. Washi, doily. This is scrapbooking paper and a few Dollar Tree stickers. I'm going to include this. This is a writing board. I just cut this off of a planner that I had. I used it for the year, but it had these nice pages on the back, and they were thick. I'm like, I am not throwing that away. I cut it out, I rounded the corners, and I put it in my laminating machine, and it makes a great writing board. So I'm going to include that. And there's a pocket, again, another pocket. I like to put a pocket on the front and the back. So again, you can just take something and put it in there like that. You know, works great. Especially if you're collecting things that you want to put in your book, but you don't have time to do it. Stuff them in the pocket so that when it's time for you to work in your book, you've got your things right in there. There's another one. Just stick them in there, see? And then you have pieces to work in your book on. So that's that. I want to show you. I always include a craft pack. I want to show you what I include. I include double-sided tape because it's a good way to glue in thicker paper. Like this is more like cardstock. If you use double-sided tape on the back of it, it'll stay in there really good. This stuff is strong, so I definitely highly recommend that. So then I also got some different colored gel pens. I like to make my books colorful, so I want to include gel pens and mark colored pencils that are colorful. It just makes your book really pretty. So we got that. We've got our gel pens. I've got some pre-sharpened, double-sided colored pencils. These are clips. These are great for when you're gluing something and you just want to clip it until it dries. Those come in handy. Some washi tape. It says beautiful day and it has bright colors that go great with the book. And then this is craft glue. This stuff works really good. And then I also got some, this is a clear craft glue, so you can try different ones. And then I'm also going to include a brand new large craft glue stick. So that's the pack. That's the craft pack. So I'm going to put that aside. And we're going to put together a paper pack. I need a sip of my coffee. This is a paper pack that I got. It says Happy Authentic Wall Collage Kit. I don't buy these for wall collages. I buy these to put them in my paper packs when I send out journals. Look at these beautiful cards. Ooh, look at that one. These are beautiful. That one's nice. Might put that in my butterfly journal. Daydreamer, that's nice. Tropical. Those are good. Good vibes only. I'm going to add that. And then you can just write on the back and it's a journal card. Boom. Just stick it in the pocket. Be the light. I love that one. I might put that one in my gratitude journal. Oh, look at that one. That's kind of fun. I hope it's not too much of a glare here. Isn't that pretty? Butterfly journal. Watermelons, strawberries, flamingos, radiate positivity. Butterfly journal. So I'm going to include those, and I'll keep these for another time. I might include the bubbles too. Why not? It's fun. So there's smaller. These are ready to go. So what you can do is just take a piece of paper like this, and I'll include this kind of paper in there. And all you got to do is trim it up. Get your glue stick, and boom, you got yourself a journal card. So those are great, and I will include a bunch of this paper in the pack. And then these are some bigger ones. You cut them in half and make tags out of them. That's what these big ones are going to be for. Pretty colors though. Look at that. Love that. These are smaller ones. These might be a little bit big for a journal card, but if you've got spots in there that are open, let me see if we can find a spot that's open. You can tuck them in like that, or I think in the middle, look, there's a pocket here that's open, and that will accommodate that. So yes, that will definitely work. So I'm going to include some of those. There's a few of those. And then these are a little bit smaller. Oh no, these are all the same size, so perfect. Look at the beautiful colors though. These are going to go great for decorating this book. Beautiful. So there's that size. I like to give you all different sizes of things, so you have options. Let's see, what else? And then these are cute. Let's include some of those. there's like a little perforated edge on there. You can just rip that off. You can just trim that up. And aren't those cute? You can cut those out, write on them, put a little image on it or a word across there and glue it in your book. So I'm going to include different ones. Look at this. There we go. That should be enough of that. Just want to show you how I go ahead and put these things together. I want to make sure you have everything you need to get started. That way there's no excuses. You can't say, oh, well, I can't start using my journal. Yes, you can, because I gave you everything you need. No excuses. All right, so I'll include that. And then this is larger paper. I think what I'm going to do with this is just going to cut it in half. It's a little too big. I only have so much room for packing. So let's see. Let's see how big this is. 8. Okay. So let me just check that again. Let's see where 4 is. Yep, right where we are. It's good. It doesn't have to be perfect anyways. You can always trim it. I always lift this up. I go to the top and then there we go. Okay. And we're just gonna cut these in half. Yeah, the thing I don't like about this cutter is I can't see how many inches I'm cutting. I can see them this way, but not this way. Whatever. They need to be trimmed. They're too big. Okay. One more, and that way you can make tags out of these. There you go. Okay, so we got a bunch of bases for tags. Look at the colors. Very pretty. Yep. Nice. Those will go great. Okay, so so far this is the pack that I have put together. I'm going to put more stuff in there. I don't want you to see everything you're going to get. In your pack. That's just the beginning. So this will all go with this. And that'll be all packed up. And then I found 4 beautiful cards that I'm going to use to write a message for each of my winners, and I'll include that. And if I need to give them a little bit of instructions on what something is, I'll make sure I do that. So those will be great. The only thing I have to do for the 2 needle books, and I'll do it later myself, I want to include these other little needle threaders, and I've got a blue thread for this one. And I've got some brown thread for this one. That's the last thing I want to do. I'll take these pins out. I just wanted to use them as an example. But I think that'll be great. I'll have to think what I'll do is I'll tie it right here so that you can tuck this little thing right in there and you won't lose it. It'll be in your pocket all the time. That'll be good. All right, I'm going to stick that right in the pocket so I know where it is, ready to go. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'll take these and I'll do this tonight when I like to stitch when I'm watching TV. So I'll put that there, stuff that in there so that I know what I need to do. And those will be ready to be sent out. So I hope you enjoyed this video on my review of all the things that I am giving away. This is the first time I've ever given away 4 prizes. I let people choose between 2 things, and then, you know, I send out 1 gift or 1 prize. But this time I decided, you know what? Let's do a whole bunch of things. I make a lot of things and I've got extra stuff, so why not share it with some of my YouTube friends and my subscribers? So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Happy crafting.